If you get easily triggered and bothered by people talking within the realm of music about marketing or content or sales or brand, this is not the channel for you. Go ahead and leave now. There's dozens and hundreds of other podcasts out there to talk to you about growing your fan base as an artist, who will pat you on the head and say, there, it's okay. It's all about the art. You don't need to worry about that nasty marketing. And guess what? You'll never get anywhere. You'll just be continuing to play all these dive bars and make $50 a night and complain about how the industry's rigged against you. You're gonna be stuck working that 9 to 5 or a couple of part-time jobs just to get by while you try to live your dream as an artist. I'm not afraid to be the only one out here that's actually going to tell you straight up, if you don't establish your brand, you are screwed. If you don't establish a sales funnel, you are screwed. If you don't actually market yourself and create content, you are screwed. This is Music Making Sense Podcast, where if it ain't about dollars, then it don't make sense.
Cause my revolutionary faculties got me switching up the game and changing minds. Get them out the system, I'll be saving lives.
What's up, y'all? Harkos here with the Music Making Sense Podcast, where it's all about music marketing, branding, and how to have success, real success as an independent artist. And today I want to talk about how you can sell your music without actually selling your music. Now, I know you're probably thinking, man, that sounds ridiculous. How can you sell without selling? Well, real salespeople know what I'm saying right now. However, a lot of the people that tune into this channel, you're an artist, you're an aspiring artist, you're trying to figure out how to go from just playing the music, whatever genre it is, and being good at it, to actually finding fans and then making money off of that, to where you can sustain your lifestyle in a positive way. Now, whenever I talk about making money, like I always say, I'm not talking about making millions and billions of dollars, and I for damn sure am not talking about ripping people off, okay? I'm talking about delivering value to your fans in excess of the money that they give to you. Okay, so if they give you $10, you're giving them more than $10 worth of value. And you can give that value in many, many different ways, okay? But like I said, whenever it comes to the sales aspect, and when I say, hey, you need to make this sale, hey, you need to do this, a lot of artists think that, selling their music, it just makes them feel dirty. It makes them feel like a salesperson and not an artist that they actually are. But, as I always say here at the beginning of every episode, I'm not talking to people who get easily triggered by specific words like sales. I'm not talking about people who cringe at the fact of selling their music, who are just hobby artists who are all about the art and that's all they care about. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to you, that artist who wants to live the musician lifestyle where you are making music, you're interacting with your fans, and you're spending a lot of time with your friends and your family and enjoying your life. You're not working some crummy 9 to 5 job or multiple part-time jobs that are just horrid. You're actually working on music that you enjoy, that you love. You're interacting with your fans and you're getting great enjoyment out of that, and then you're spending all the extra time with your friends and your family, and you're just living a life that you enjoy, not one that you despise, okay? And a lot of y'all are living a lifestyle that you despise right now, and you really, really want to change that. And I'm talking to you with every single episode I put out here on Music Making Sense Podcast, and especially with this episode right here, how to sell your music to create that musician lifestyle that you want without feeling dirty like a salesperson and without actually selling, okay? Now, a lot of artists will run away from the sales portion because it makes them feel like they have a job. It's like, why would I go from my 9 to 5 or a couple part-time jobs that they're okay? Why would I go from that to working full-time in musician and it still feels like a job? I don't want it to feel like a job. I want it to feel awesome. I enjoy having fun making music. If I make this a job, it won't be fun. I hear artists say that all the time, and they also will say, well, hey, if I make it a job, well, now I have to appeal to the masses, because in order to be able to make enough money to live, I need to have millions of fans. Well, both of those things are equally wrong. You don't have to appeal to everyone. You just need 10,000 hardcore fans. And now, I'm not saying 10,000 fans total. I'm not saying 10,000 monthly listeners. I'm not saying 10,000 followers on social media. I'm saying 10,000 hardcore fans, which means those are fans that you, bare minimum, have the email address for. And if you can get $10 a year from those 10,000 fans, you will make $100,000 a year. Now, I live here in Indiana, where $100,000 a year is decent. You can live comfortably on that. You won't have, a brand new Benz, but you can have a nice new car, or newer car, a domestic or an import, Toyota, Chevy, something like that, right? You can have a nice house. No, it's not going to be no $1 million mansion, but you can have, somewhere between $150,000 and $250,000 house, and you can live comfortably. Whether it's in the city with a loft apartment, or whether it's in the country with, your homestead, $100,000 a year, you can live decently. Okay. Obviously more is always better, but to make it simple math, I wanted to say, 10,000 fans, $10 a year from each of those fans gives you $100,000 a year. Now that's on average. If you have 10,000 people who love you and your music enough to give you their email address, a real email address, not their spam one, but a real one, they're going to donate to you, bare minimum, at least $10 a year. Maybe some of them maybe $10 a month. But when it comes to, doing different tactics where you are offering them exclusive first dibs on merchandise, first dibs on your EP before it hits streaming platforms. You have an insider program with $5 a month, and you get to go live once a week with you, and they get to actually have that connection with you, a deeper connection. You can develop all different kinds of things. You have, monthly live stream performances of your unreleased music to your insider group, and just $5 a month. Well, $5 a month, yeah, you may not get all 10,000 people to sign up for it, but if you get a tenth of that, if you get 1,000 people who sign up for your $5 a month insider program, where, you have a live stream every week that they can join in on, and it's exclusive to them. And then also you have once a month, you have a live stream performance, or you live stream a performance that is exclusive to them, that's an unreleased song, or maybe a full performance. $5 a month times 1,000 people, that's $5,000 a month right there off of them. And that's $60,000 a year. Boom. Of $1,000 people. And you're giving them all kinds of value. You're talking about $5 a month somebody would pay to you to be able to go live with you once a week and just hang out and have fun with you. Talk to you about whatever your interests are, just hang out. Maybe you're previewing some of your unreleased music, some music you're working on, and they can actually have the opportunity to give their points of view on that. That's something that you can do for $5 a month. That's nothing. People will pay that, no problem. And whether you have 100 people doing that or 1,000 people, maybe you get your whole 10,000 people to do that. What I'm saying is if you get at least $10 a year from 10,000 people, you can live comfortably. And you can get that from, like I said, from that. You can get that also from streaming. You can get that from direct sales of your music or merchandise, donations, like I said, or like I said, your insider program. The sky's the limit, and it's all based on your creativity. But again, you have to sell your music, your experiences, and everything like that without actually selling, to not be salesy. And the most common way that I see people trying to sell their music, or whatever it is, try to sell whatever, is by telling people what to do, by demanding, sometimes even by trying to guilt people into it. Saying things like stream now, buy now, out now, support. That's the one that really kills me the most, is whenever I see artists, bands, musicians who will make posts, support local musicians, support your favorite independent artists, blah, blah, blah. They'll make general statements like that, but what they're really saying is, support me, support me. And you sound really, really needy. It really trips me out. I said this on previous podcasts. It trips me out whenever I see an artist, band, musician, whatever, who will say, Harkos, I don't want to deal with any of the sales and marketing stuff. But then I will look at their social media and they're making posts, stream now, out now, buy now, support. And I'm like, you're being the most despicable version of a salesperson with those tactics. And then you're saying you don't want to do it. You're a conundrum. See, all those tactics are guaranteed to get you $0. Saying out now, stream now, buy now, you're going to get $0. And some of you may be arguing, no, man, I got blah, blah. Hey, in general, you're going to get $0. I'm talking about substantial $0. After cost and everything, $0. Nothing. What I'm talking about is actually being able to build something substantial to where after your expenses, you're good. You're making some money. And you're doing it 100% ethically, 100% morally. And you are not telling people what to do. They are making that choice to do it themselves. You're leaving the opportunity out there for them. And they want to support you so much that they are looking for those options to do it. So, again, you're probably thinking, okay, Harkos, I've went so many minutes into this video already. How do I sell without selling? Well, you do that by selling yourself. And the only way to do that is to be yourself and showcase that. What do I mean by that? So, you have to showcase your brand, which is who you are, what you stand for, and what your story is. That is your brand. And you got to showcase that on a steady basis in the form of entertaining and engaging content. Now, content's a dirty word. A lot of people don't like it, but content is literally anything you put out onto the internet. From music videos to the actual music itself to any video content that speaks to your brand, who you are, what you stand for, what you're about, or that just speaks to your music in some way without it being salesy, just to the vibe, to what it represents, to what it stands for. And if you are creating entertaining and engaging content of all different variations, from music-related pieces to interest-based pieces that speak to your brand and your music's brand, what you stand for, what your music represents, then you will be able to sell yourself and let the music sell itself. Now, obviously, I shouldn't have to say this, but apparently I do. Your music has to be high quality. You can't record it on BandLab. You have to actually record it properly. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Bare minimum, go on Amazon, get a refurbished Chromebook or something like that for under $100. Go find a USB mic for under $100. Get that at your house. Download FL Studio's demo version, which is free. And now you spent $200 or less. You have a computer with a microphone, and you can record into it. You can record high quality stuff into the demo version. You can't save in the demo version, but what you can do is you can export the full track MP3, as well as you can select certain WAV files of different vocal recordings and your beat. You can save them all separately into WAV files, and you can send them to somebody to mix and master, or you can learn how to do it yourself all in there in the program. But like I said, on the demo version, you can't save, but you still can create quality recordings way better than that free BandLab garbage. Stop using BandLab. Just stop. It is garbage. Spend $200 and get the setup I just said. Okay? Anyway, I got sidetracked right there because BandLab really irks me. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I got off topic. You have to sell yourself by just being yourself, by expressing yourself, which is what you do as an artist, what you do as a creative individual. You express yourself. Turn your phone on or a camera, whatever you have, webcam. Like I'm on a webcam right now. This is a $20 webcam on Amazon, 1080p, $20 USB webcam. It's that cheap and simple to find quality stuff. If you get 1080p at minimum, you're good. You don't need 4K, 8K. Okay, that stuff's going to be expensive. Go get 1080p everything. You're good. Anyway, I keep getting distracted. I'm sorry. It's because this stuff is just so simple. Go to Amazon, go to eBay, go to Alibaba or wherever. Go find some cheap stuff real quick, and you can get high quality recording off of that. And then it's all in the technicals. Anyway, but when you're selling yourself out here on the social media and you're starting to gather following, that's going to lead people back to your website, which is where you are able to sell your music, sell your merchandise, sell your live experiences, your insider programs, everything I talked about at the beginning of this video. You can sell all of that, and especially you can gather their email address so that you can speak with them every week in what I call email direct communication. A lot of people call it email marketing, but I call it email direct communication because when you send out an email to your email list, people who have voluntarily given you their email, either absolutely for free or in exchange for some free downloads or a coupon or something like that for your music, your merchandise, when you get people's email addresses, that's gold. And you need to treat it like gold. And so when you have a piece of gold in your hand, you don't just light it on fire and just throw it in the yard. No, you got a piece of gold in your hand. You know what that's worth. You know all the different things you can make out of that. And that's exactly the same thing when it comes to an email address out of somebody. So you need to have email direct communication, not email sales and marketing. What I mean by this is 80 to 90% of the email that you send them every single time you send them an email, which should be bare minimum weekly, and usually not more than 3 times a week, because more than that you get a little excessive. But bare minimum weekly, 80 to 90% of it should just be you communicating with them, telling them what you've been working on, maybe what happened to you this week, maybe what happened to you today. Maybe an epiphany that you had on a song, whether it's a new song, an old song, what have you. Whatever it is, something that speaks to your brand. You know, whatever your hobby or your interest is that you represent in your brand and in your music, you're talking to them about that. Because when you're putting out all that content on social media, and I include YouTube as well too into that, for those of y'all who are new checking this episode out and this channel out, I consider social media Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. All right, 5 platforms. When you're putting that content out there on those platforms, people are resonating with what you're putting out, the vibe, the interest that you have, what you represent. And when they come over and give you their email address, they want more of that because they like it. And so you need to give them that. In your emails, 80 to 90% has to be that. And at the bottom, have a pitch. I'm not saying to not have a pitch. Say, hey, if you haven't already, my new EP, blah, 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 is available right now for, $5, $10, whatever it is. Exclusive download directly for you. It's not available on streaming platforms yet, blah, blah, blah. Whatever your pitch is. You got an insider program. You got some new merch, whatever. Your new music video just dropped. Whatever it is that you're trying to pitch, have that at the bottom, 10%. Okay? And you can do that all from your website. Without a website, you cannot earn any money from people. And I know some of you are like, well, what about streaming? Yes, technically you can earn money from streaming. And you can even earn money from purchases on iTunes or I think Amazon Music allows you to purchase. I don't know. I don't pay attention to Amazon Music, honestly. But I know iTunes allows that. And you can get some money off of that. your streaming revenue, especially if you ditch Spotify, you ditch SoundCloud, and you focus on the streaming platforms that actually pay you well, which would be, YouTube Music, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Tidal, places like that actually pay a penny per stream, if not more. Yeah, you can make some decent money off of that. And yeah, if they have a sales option, you can make some sales off of that. But that's not where the real money is. And if you're listening right here, right now, that is not where the real money is, because I'm sure, I guarantee, you have complained about the low amount of money that you get from streaming, or the 70% that you get off of your sales on iTunes. Why don't I get the full 100%? It's only $2. Whatever the situation is. I've heard all these complaints. Streaming doesn't pay anything. They always want to take money off top from my sales and stuff like that. All these things are complaints that I've heard, and that's why you can't make any substantial money off of streaming or any of these other platforms, their sales. This is why you have to sell your music, your merchandise, your experiences to your fans directly on your website. And, okay, for some of you who just be like, well, look, Harkos, people don't even buy music anymore, okay? You're talking about iTunes Music. You're talking about people buying on their website. People don't even buy music anymore. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. There are plenty of people out there that will buy a hard copy CD or even an LP off of you if they love your music, who you are, what you stand for enough. There are. And yeah, they may want to listen to it on that, but sometimes they buy it just for the nostalgia, just for the merchandise. Hell, if you got great artwork, like for those of y'all watching on video, the artwork I got behind me from the CD era, when I bought all these albums in the early 2000s. If you have great artwork on your stuff, people are going to buy it just for a piece of art and memorabilia, and they're going to do it because they like you. But on top of the fact, I've even seen people who will have something up on Bandcamp or even on their own website. They'll have something for sale for $1. And people will pay that $1 and then also go and donate through the donate tab on their website an extra $5-10. They'll do that kind of stuff because they are buying into you. Whether or not they directly buy the music itself, they are buying into you and your brand and what you stand for, because you have sold yourself without selling by creating that entertaining, engaging content out on the social media and drawn people in to you through those mediums. And then you've drawn them another step deeper into your website. Website is crucial. That's where they can buy everything. That's where they can support you in any way. And not to mention, that's where they can find your links to your other platforms. You have to have your website, and I've said this before on previous episodes as well too. You have to have your website in your bio on all your platforms, so that when people find you on one platform, they can go back to your website and bare minimum find you on all the other platforms. Whatever their favorite one is. Let's say, for instance, they find your music video on YouTube. Well, they want to start listening to your music on Apple Music. Well, if you have your website in your bio on your YouTube, they can go back to your website. They can find that. Also, while they're on your website, if it pops out at them, it looks cool in the first bit before they start scrolling, they're probably going to start scrolling. They're going to see what you're about, what you got going on. And you never know. That person who just saw your music video may come over and they may join your email list and then start streaming you on streaming platforms. And it may be the first time they've ever seen you. Or they could have seen you for the last year operating and finally decide to take that step to go to your website. There's all different kinds of options that they can do in order to support you once they get on your website. And like I said, I mean, even if they go to your YouTube, they see your music video. Here's another example. Let me say it like this. Here's another example. If they go to your YouTube and watch your music video, that's where they first find you. and they want to go follow you over on social and share that. Well, on your website, you got your links to your socials. Boom, done deal. Okay, and so there's all kinds of ways to create substantial and steady income from your music, merchandise, experiences, and everything like that, while providing excess value to your fans. But you have to do that on your website. Okay? But like I said, the first step is selling yourself. You have to establish your brand, like I talked about in a previous episode called Crafting Your Brand. If you haven't watched it right now, after this episode, go back and watch that one. It's called Crafting Your Brand. It's a great episode. Go check it out. In there, I talk about how you need to craft your brand, establish who you are, what you stand for, and what you're about. This is how you this is how you dial in on representing yourself to the world and to your strangers, fans, potential fans, everything in between. But then after you've established that, you have to create content, entertaining and engaging content on a regular basis, like I said in the episode called The Content Creation, right? How to get out of your way, I believe it was how to get out of your own way when it comes to creating content, something like that, right? Go check out those. I'll have them linked down in the description as well too. Go check out that one about creating the entertaining and engaging content. You have to know who you are and what you represent and frame that in order to create that content that's going to resonate the best with people. Because if you're just creating willy-nilly content, whether you post memes and then you post some other troll type stuff and then you post your music, yeah, you may be a troll, you may like memes, but does that really represent what your music stands for? Is your music troll music? See what I'm saying? You have to represent yourself, but then you have to have the system set up. And the system set up to actually generate that income on a regular basis is on your website. And you probably already said it before, but you're probably saying it again right now. Yes, I know, website, man, that's so expensive though. I would love to have a website. I just don't have hundreds or thousands of dollars a year to be spending on a website. You don't have to. Okay? You can have a website up and running for as low as $25 a year. And there's 3 different ways to have that website, fully functioning website, that allows you to sell your music, your merchandise, your experiences, and it only costs you $25 a year. And there's 3 different ways. So the first way is you do it 100% yourself. You go out on YouTube University or even Google and you figure out how to create a website. Well, I prefer using Wix. The reason I prefer Wix is because they are the only platform out here that actually allows a free website for you. So you can go on there and you can build that website. No matter how long it takes, you spend $0. Yeah, they're always going to pitch you to upgrade, but just say no thank you, all that stuff, right? And unless you want some premium features, you don't need to upgrade. Just stick with all the basic stuff. You can create your website. You can have everything laid out to where you can connect all your platforms, everything like that. You can do all of that for $0 a month, $0 a year. And then what you do is you go over to GoDaddy and you buy your domain, which is your URL, www.whateveryournameiS.com, right? You go and buy that. And then you do what's called a DNS forwarding, where you connect your free Wix URL to that and you do a forwarding. Now, I'm not going to give you any more sauce on that. You can go find all that information 100% yourself on YouTube University and Google. Okay, but that's how you can get it set up for as low as $25 a year. Now, that's the way number 1. Now, the second way is you pay somebody to show you how to do it. Now, for instance, I have a course called the All-in-One Music Business System course, where I show you step by step, every single step, from beginning to end, how to set up your website, how to integrate all the different platforms to be able to sell your music, your merchandise, and your experiences, as well as interconnect in with your email system. You can connect all these different things. I show you how to set up everything. I show you how to do the DNS forwarding, show you how to do all that stuff. And as of right now, the time I'm recording this, it is on a great sale. Okay? The third way, so that's the second way, okay? The second way to do it is to pay somebody to do it. Now, there's other courses out there, but I guarantee they're not as extensive as mine, and they're not going to, excuse me, I guarantee that they're not going to be as extensive as mine, and I guarantee that they're not going to help you show you how to set up a website to run for as low as $25 a year. They're not going to. Okay, so if you're going to buy a course to learn how to do all this stuff, and you're not going to be doing option one, which is learning how to do everything all yourself, just taking the little bit of information I just gave you, doing it all yourself, then I would suggest you buy my course on that. And the third option is to pay somebody to build it all for you. Now, there's plenty of people out there who can build a website for you, and some people will cost thousands of dollars. And then you're still going to have the monthly reoccurring, because a lot of people don't know how to set it up to where it only costs you as low as $25 a year. I do. So I have a great rate that does not cost thousands of dollars, costs a fraction of that, for me to build a website for you. And again, the reason I'm not saying what the prices are right now on this video is because you may be watching this video a year after I've released it, and I don't want to have to stick to any prices that I have today. However, if you go to musicmakingsensepod.com, links down in the description. Also, I have my website up in the bio wherever you're listening or watching to this episode right now. You can go there and you can find out exactly how much the cost is for either one of those options. Okay, but I always make sure that I have the best deal on the market at all times. And not just the money that you pay, but the quality as well too. So yeah, like I said, you can go to YouTube University and you can figure it out all yourself. And you may or may not be able to figure out how to do everything I said to get it to just $25 a year. You're like, man, I'm still having to pay $30 a month. Well, I know how to get it all set up. So you can take my course, or you can have me do it for you, and I can get those all set up. So those are the three different ways. But it is an option. You have the availability to have it for as low as $25 a year, which is just the cost of your domain. Your domain costs an average of $25 a year. Okay? So once you have that website, that's how you can actually finally have all the systems put in place to where when you are going out there and you're selling yourself without actually selling, people are coming in, people are buying into you and what you represent, your music, and they are buying your music, and they are starting to contribute to you living that musician lifestyle. And that's what you want. That's 100% what you want. So, like I said, in order to sell yourself, sell your music without actually selling, no stream now, no buy now, no out now, no, oh, support me. None of that. No high pressure, nothing. The only way to do this is to establish your brand, who you are, what you stand for, and what your story is. Establish that. Solidify that. I'm not talking about creating something out of thin air. I'm talking about taking an audit of yourself and of your music and what you want to represent through all of that. Taking an audit of that and just writing those three things down. Who am I? What do I stand for? What's my story? Write it all out. No matter how long it is, write it out. Now, once you've established that, then you need to create that entertaining and engaging content and put that out on all platforms. And then, once you're doing that, when you have your website in your bio on all those platforms, people will start going from strangers who first see your content to followers who follow you on that social platform, to listeners who go over to the streaming platform and start listening to your music, to fans who go to your website, take that step further and download some of your free music in exchange for their email address or just hop on your newsletter, to becoming super fans, which is where they contribute to you on a regular basis of some kind. And if you can get 10,000 super fans giving you at least $10 a year, and a super fan is going to give you more than $10 a year. But if you can set everything up to where people are giving you at least $10 a year, through all the different platforms on your website, you can make at least $100,000 a year off of your music. You can live comfortably, and you can live that musician lifestyle where you're creating music, you're engaging with your fans, and you're spending time with your friends and your family, and you're living the life that you want. You're not working those bullshit, garbage ass 9-to-5 jobs or multiple part-time jobs. You're not stressing out. You're not feeling like you're wasting your life. And most importantly, you're not feeling like your music is now your job. Because you just set up the business. And after you have that set up, you just go out there and you entertain and engage. That's it. You don't have to sell, because everything that you're doing is selling itself. And once people go to your website, that's when they see the little small pitches. Buy the music now, buy this now, whatever, right? They see all the pitches on your website. Because that's where you actually want to sell to people. And all you got to do is type it once. That's it. Once you set up everything in your website, all the different systems, it works on its own, essentially autonomous. Once people come to your website, once people get on your email list. But 80 to 90% of the time, all you're doing is creating the music and creating the music videos or the other pieces of entertaining and engaging video content. Video is key. Once you're doing all that, that's all you're doing all day. You're playing live shows, you're doing live stream shows, you're interacting with your fans in live streams, you're going on interviews or whatever. You're just doing what you want. You're making that music, you're putting it out there, you're changing people's lives, you're helping people, you're connecting on a deep level with people. And that's how you start making money off of your music. And that's how we make the music make sense. And that's why this is called the Music Making Sense Podcast. So if you got any value out of this episode that I just said right here for you, make sure you leave comments, rating, review, whatever. But go to musicmakingsensepod.com. Links down in the description or in the bio of wherever you're listening or watching this. Because this is not just available on YouTube. This is available on all the podcast platforms as well, too. For those of y'all watching on YouTube only. Go to musicmakingsensepod.com. And on there, you can just hit chat. Send me a message. Tell me what you thought about this. Was I off it? Was I not? Send me a message. Now, yeah, you can go to socials. All those are right there on the website as well, too. You can go to socials. You can make a post talking positive or talking shit. Make sure you tag Music Making Sense Podcast, please. Either way. I have no problem with either one. I have had positive and negative posts created about me and Music Making Sense Podcast, and they have tagged me in it, and I go and like it. Now, I don't hop in the comments and do all that nonsense. No, that ain't for me. If you want to have a discussion with me, you message me privately on musicmakingsensepod.com. I'm not out here trying to, have debates with people in comment sections. It's not how I like to spend my life. Yeah, I may do it here and there, go one or two back and forth, but after a couple, that's it. It's direct messages from then on. I'm not having this long feed argument with you. It's a waste of time. But that's my personal stuff. But like I said, positive or negative, go to musicmakingsensepod.com. Send me a message right there in the chat option on the website, whether it's mobile or desktop. It doesn't matter. There's the option. Send me a message. Let me know what you thought about this Let me know what you thought about this episode. Let me know if you think I was off of it on anything. Let me know if you think I was on. And then, like I said, if you want to, go ahead, create posts about it. Positive, negative. Make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe, all that fun shit, especially if you enjoy this podcast, what I'm doing here on the channel. Make sure you share. And you go out there, you do all that, you take all the information. And like I said, go check out the previous episodes as well too that I created. The one on brand, the one on content. They're all linked down below in the description where you're listening to this right here, right now. Go check those out. And those in combination with this one, after you've consumed all of them, if you need anything, if you got any questions, concerns, anything like that, musicmakingsensepod.com. Shoot me a message. And if you need help with your website, musicmakingsensepod.com. Anything that you need, musicmakingsensepod.com. Until the next episode, until the next live stream over on YouTube, WTF Wednesday. Until then, I'll see you next time.